In this video, I'm going to do a brief overview as to my current morning routine and what I'm going to do to change it in the next week. I'm going to see how it goes. So this isn't going to be necessarily me recommending you do anything in particular, but I'm just trying to show you like kind of my thought process behind making decisions and like this kind of constant battle we have to make of kind of compromising in certain ways, and above all, like treating yourself like you're someone that you're responsible for looking after. So my current morning routine is this: like I wake up and first thing I do is I get onto the yoga mat and I stretch. And I have two stretches that I do, and they're very basic stretches. They're not super advanced, but they're just the ones that are just about easy enough that I can do, which is a deep squat and sitting cross-legged. And I'll do that for as long as I feel necessary. But because in my job I do a lot of walking, my legs get very tense. So I often find that I'll need to do this stretching for about an hour, or like I want to sit there for an hour. And obviously that by itself is fine, but the thing I've sort of allowed myself to do in this period of time, when I just get up and stretch, is I allow myself to go on my phone. Because, let's be honest, it's quite boring just sitting there stretching, particularly if you're a real beginner, which I am. You know, I'm really not flexible at all. And the only way I could get myself to stretch is if there's some kind of sort of enjoyable element to it. And that's where the phone comes in. It gives me it makes stretching quite palatable. I quite look forward to it. I just sit down, I stretch. It feels quite good, but then I'm also entertaining myself as well. And otherwise, I'd find it incredibly boring and I just wouldn't do it at all. So this is kind of the first thing that I want to talk about with this morning routine. It's like you're just giving yourself a little bit of a treat to do the bad thing. It's just to do something good. And it kind of, it's a great way to sort of use your, to sort of advance the needle forwards. You know, just be realistic with your own sort of self. I just decided that like it's not realistic for myself to just stretch first thing in the morning. But I saw there was a necessity that I needed to do it because of the nature of my job and everything. So I had to find a way to make it palatable to myself to do it. And the best way to do that was stretching. Now I'm at a stage now where I'm deciding that I'm gonna change this. And the reason for it is, although it's very good to stretch, I find that if I go on my phone, like in that first hour of the day, if I'm letting myself go on my phone, not only that, but like go on, YouTube Shorts, Instagram, even stuff like dating apps, that is just a disaster for your attention span for the rest of the day, and just your kind of focus on what's important and your sort of direction, your intentionality throughout the day. And I've found that although it's been great for me to stretch and whatever, I just find that I'm totally washed out for the rest of the day. I just can't get off my phone, basically. And so I've had a big sit down with myself, and I thought, is it worth me sacrificing a little bit of flexibility in my legs today if I can refrain from using my phone for the first hour of the day? And it's quite an interesting trade-off, which is why I'm making this video. Because I just think that first hour of the day needs to be it's such an amazing time. And if you get that first hour right, the rest of the day just sort of comes together very beautifully. But it's really hard to get right. And one of the things I just think you can't have is your phone. I just think it's funny. A lot of people talk about phone usage, and obviously any kind of phone usage is not good for you. But what I've realised is I think the more important thing is like when you're using your phone. I feel like using your phone in the middle of the day, this might sound stupid, but seems to me to be a lot better than using your phone first thing in the morning and last thing in the evening. Those two places seem to be just like using your phone at that point is just twice as bad for some reason. I don't know why. Because I think it just messes with your sleep and you're setting up for the day in just really bad ways, and it just distracts you totally. Meanwhile, if those sort of periods are sort of block free, you go on your phone at 2 o'clock in the afternoon for half an hour, and even if you're going on, bad things like TikTok or Instagram or whatever, some reason there's something about waking up and first thing going on your phone that's so much more damaging. And obviously, you want to refrain from doing too much of these bad habits at all. But I think the place where you start is where the damage is greatest. And I think that is in the morning and in the evenings. So anyway, I've had a decision that I've just got to stop going on my phone in the mornings. But I've had to sit down with myself and I thought, am I going to be able to stretch first thing in the morning without like the sort of fun elements of going on my phone to sort of make it enjoyable? And I just think I'm not far along in my sort of journey with that to say yes to that. I don't think I have the sort of willpower to stretch for an hour in the morning if I haven't got the phone, something to make it enjoyable for me. And so I've decided I'm just going to give it a try and not go on my phone and not stretching, just taking that out. Now there are lots of disadvantages in that. I will be less flexible. I'll be, that's basically it. I'll be less flexible, which will have knock-on effects on my posture, stuff like that, which is really annoying. But the upside is, I think I'll have a much clearer mind. And if I just refrain from using that phone for the first hour of the day, it doesn't really matter what I'm doing for that first hour, as long as it's not on my phone. I think the kind of thoughts I'll start having and the sort of clarity of mind I'll have, which is ultimately the evil of phones, is they distract you from your clarity of mind, will be worth the loss of, the advantages I'm getting from stretching. So that's what I'm going to try. And what I'm going to do in the morning is just anything that doesn't involve a screen. So that could be reading, writing, just cooking. I would say stuff like listening to music or like listen to a podcast, something like that. But even that's slightly too. They're not bad things in and of themselves, but they still involve me going on my phone. So just anything that doesn't involve me going on my phone, which is basically reading, journaling. That's it. That's what I'm going to do. Now, not the most exciting things in the world, but I think I can just about have I have the discipline to just force myself to do those things first thing in the morning, and resist the sort of urge to go on my phone. But what I don't have the discipline to do is to go and stretch without my phone first thing for an hour. That's just way beyond what I'm capable of at the moment. So that's my plan basically, and we're going to see how it goes. And just before I finish this, what I'm going to say is in the evening I have the exact same routine. So for the last half an hour or so, I'll try and get in another little session of stretching, and again that will be on my phone. And I'll be scrolling through Instagram, so YouTube Shorts, stuff like that. And that's just a horrible thing to do before you get into bed. And I just think all this stuff on YouTube that I'm consuming is there's so much hatred on the internet. Basically, there's so much arguing and just negativity. and about sort of issues that are going on, and they're very fascinating stuff. And it's very culturally important. This kind of woke culture and the sort of the West and like these big sort of arguments, and you throw like Israel and Palestine into the mix and stuff like this, and it's so stimulating to me. I'm so interested in politics and debates, and I'm interested in hearing the other side as well and whatever. And this is what I'm getting in my feed most of the time, is just this kind of stuff about I guess this kind of culture war. So interesting, but it just arouses such horrible emotions within you. And there's a time and place to sit down, like watch a full-length video about the Israel-Palestine conflict, or Ukraine, or I don't know, woke culture, or religion, all this stuff. But it's just not it's not at the beginning and the end of your day, and it's not in a short format. And I just think if I can cleanse myself of that kind of content for just that last bit of the day, then I'll just be so much happier, and I think life will just be a lot more clear to me. Like everything will make sense a lot more. So that's what I'm doing, guys. That's what I'm doing, and I'll do another video in the future about where I see this going. But yeah, thanks very much for watching, guys, and I'll see you in the next one.